Happy Wednesday, everybody. Or as we like to say in Cleveland, we still fucking won. It was so great on Sunday. Holy shit. Ollie Wetzel there. I'm Andy Billman here. Hello. That shrieking voice you hear. Set the edge. It has been an exciting week, Browns fans. There is no fucking intro. There is no fucking long red carpet full of, funny phrases and, Holly with bourbon. It's all about one thing. That fucking game on Sunday was wonderful. And it changed a whole narrative of things that we could have gone into. But if for people out there who watched that game, I'm sure I was there when it was 10 and Baker was 0 for 5. We all said, is this it? Are we really here? And then Holly in one ball swoop just all turned. So we're going to talk about the Browns. We're going to talk about what happened to OBJ. Sadly for him, he's out for the year. I hope the poor guy's doing okay. It looked like a really bad injury. Hopefully he's doing okay. The triumphant march, that's Myles Garrett and his MVP march, in my opinion. And then we're going to get into Borat. Who isn't talking about Borat? We're going to talk about Borat for a little bit. And then the Kardashians, a good topic for Holly, where I'll sit here and pretend I know about the Kardashians, which I really don't, but I have opinions.
It all comes together, Andy.
It all does.
Kind of meshes together as I smack my mic.
It does. And as you watch Set the Edge, everybody, tonight, please check out the wonderful Saved by the Bell trailer. I was stunned. I thought it
looks really good.
Really good.
Like really good.
Really good. Like
even Max from the original Max is back. Like it's huge.
It's huge.
I will say they look fucking old, but it looks really good. I mean, do they not? Really old.
I actually let's go down here for a second before we talk Browns. I thought Zach looked fine. I thought he looked his age. Ace, I don't know what AC Slater. what's his real name? I forget his name.
Mario Lopez.
Mario Lopez.
He doesn't age. He might be the one that doesn't age.
He's got Dick Clark genes. He really does. I actually thought the one girl, Jessie, I always had a crush on Jessie. I thought she looked great, but I have a crush on Jessie.
Spano Speaks, huh? You had a little crush on Spano Speaks?
She is sexy. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh my God.
Wasn't she in, was it Showgirls? Is that what that she was?
Wonderful film. Wonderful.
Probably got that on VHS over there.
Yeah, I won't lie. Everybody's got it's funny. Like we all had those little crushes when you're growing up. I was in love with Jessie. I just remember when I saw her, I was like tall and curly. Oh my God.
I was a big Jonathan Taylor Thomas fan.
Yeah,
I was convinced that my family knew that I had a crush on him. So if Home Improvement was on, I wouldn't even go in the room. They'd be like, "Why aren't you watching?" I was like, "I don't want to watch it." And I'm like, because they're totally going to know I have a crush on JTT. So ridiculous. Even though I was buying 17 magazines with his face on it, they didn't know that I had a thing for him, but whatever. I was scared of boys still,
Oh, he was a superstar. That kid, it was funny. He did one show, but he was on every teen cover. I remember when I was going through that hair. Every girl I was dating in high school even had a picture of that dude somewhere. It was funny.
Everywhere.
It was everywhere. So we'll talk more about Saved by the Bell. You'll have to wait for the commentary. Clearly, we have a lot of thoughts that's going on there. I can tell you about my love for Jessie, who I was so in love with that girl. Anyways, but first we're going to talk about our love for Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. For people who watched our show last time, it was not as nice. But we were all saying the same thing. We hope Baker does well. We were cheering for him. And really, seriously, we're cheering for him hard. In all my years of sports, Holly, there's probably other moments that come to mind. That was one of the biggest 180 moments I've ever seen.
Yeah, huge.
Huge. I mean, he looked dead. He looked pale. He looked like nothing, no hope was won. And, it's only one game and got to keep playing on. But Holly, what a wonderful win for the Browns and for Baker.
Huge. He went 22 for 23 passes. Did a complete 180, 5 touchdowns, and it tied his 5 touchdown passes, tied a Brown single game record since Derek Anderson in 2007, which is a long time ago. So huge performance by Baker. Definitely someone lit the fire in his ass. Hopefully it was himself. And maybe it was someone getting hurt. I don't know. But, we saw this revival in him, and it was awesome. It was awesome. It was the Baker it was 2018 Baker, 2018 rookie Baker. Seemed, and after that he was confident, and I like a little bit of cockiness from him. So I was okay with that, and we can talk a little bit. I don't know if we didn't talk about this in our prep either, but did you see the celebrations after the game
Yes.
with him, the live video.
Yes.
What was your thought on that? Any?
I think that's Baker being Baker. I was not surprised. Like I've seen that before, and I saw that, and I go, "That's Baker." I mean, that's Baker. That's what you're signing up for. What did you think?
Yeah, I did not like it. I felt it was really excessive. I don't know. When you see that, I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. But then I was like, well, like I'd be like having my head down, like, man, I sucked ass that first quarter, whatever, almost first half, and I definitely he totally redeemed himself.
Yes,
Dumb and Dumber style, totally redeemed
yes,
himself. But I would just like head down next game. Personally.
Look, we are Clevelanders.
You're right. That's what we did. That's what we signed up for. You're right.
That's what we signed. By the way, you and I are Clevelanders. That's what we would do. We would push our head, and I mean that. Most time, Clevelanders are like, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to win the game. We won the game, threw a touchdown pass, and all that stuff. There is a lot of bravado, a lot of machismo in Baker Mayfield. It's not Kosar. Kosar walked off the field, shook hands, tipped his cap, did all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong, to be honest with you. So I know my son loves Baker Mayfield and loves everything about that dude. He loves the dancing. He loves everything about it. So all that to be said, Holly, like I get that too. You and I are more from the same cloth. I don't need that stuff. It doesn't bother me anymore. I just have been around sports to know that's what he kind of signed up for. That's what he does. I mean, and again, watching it through my son's eyes, he loves it. Mm-hmm. He wants more of it. Yeah. Trevor Bauer in baseball wants that. He wants bat flips. He wants spiking on the mound, all that stuff. So we're becoming more of a culture where Mark Bavaro, who simply kneeled and did did like a Jesus cross sign and then get off. Those days are not gone, but those days are more of the we're the old fogies. I think that's I think the more generational.
I like the humbleness, and then
I do too.
That doesn't exist anymore in sports across the board, not just football, not just Baker. And Baker actually has been pretty humble this entire season.
He's been pretty humble.
So, which I've really liked that about him. But he's and it was a humble of just like this really slow, like chip on his shoulder, just this cockiness attitude, but in a good way, not showy. Season at all, and that it made me think a little bit of like last year. But anyway, so I know we didn't really go over that, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. Because
I agreed. I wasn't surprised. I would have been more surprised if he didn't do something like that. So to me, it's like it's par for the course with him. Here's a bigger thing about Baker. His post-game press conference means more to me than that, because his post-game press conference is what you just said. Humble, next game. Humble, next game. Yeah. Humble, next game. If he would have had a 2019 press conference after that win, I would have been like, I thought him coming after game saying, hey, all that to be, what it is, whatever else, we're here on the next game. That's what I like to see. And that's where this team seems to be heading. And I threw, you brought something up. And I think it's important to bring up. There's been a lot of discussion about, okay, let's say this again. I feel bad for OBJ. I really, really hope he's okay. Mm-hmm. And you know what? He had that kid hustles. He plays hard. There's no doubt about it. He won the Dallas game. Won the Dallas game at play.
Yes.
So he's a wonderful, wonderful player. But there's been a very fair debate about how this team fits as long as he's not there. Now, I want to give the opposite opinion here. I actually believe it's not that. But I know you do. So I'll let you have the floor now. So what do you think with OBJ being gone out for the year? He fits in this team better.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I think that, you go to work every day. There's going to be people that you work with that you like, mm-hmm. people that you vibe with, people that you get along with, people that just you seem to get a good workflow with, that you just can count on. That, there's going to be other people that are probably really good at their job, but mm-hmm. you may not mesh with them as well, mm-hmm. and as much as you try. And I think it's just one of those situations. Again, we're in this weird black and white world. There are no shades of gray anymore.
That's right.
And this is another situation where I think it is a shade of gray, where it's okay. OBJ is a fantastic player, and maybe, just maybe, there's a wrong fit there, and Baker feels pressure to throw to him when it's not always the right time. Yep. I think that there's that, and there's been other talks. Like, this isn't new that OBJ may not be the best fit for a lot of teams, and that happens. There's a lot of players and sports across all major sports that have that. There's always been talks about LeBron. Why didn't anyone want to come to Cleveland? Was it to play with LeBron? I mean, there's a lot of those rumors and those things.
That was definitely bantered about for a while. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just think that with him, it may just not be the right fit. And maybe Baker just clearly feels more comfortable throwing to Higgins or someone else, and honestly throwing to who's open, because then it moves the ball up the field. And that's just old school, just first down. I mean, and I think there's a pressure there, like I said, with OBJ. And this kind of relieves that pressure. Did anyone want this to be the way? No. Does that mean that OBJ, we have to be against him and
no,
there's a better player without him? No, I don't really necessarily. That narrative is just for show, and I just think it gets blown up. I just think that maybe they just don't mesh well, and that's okay. It's all right. So
here's where I come off on it, and I'll put up BJ's comment. OBJ's really liked in the locker room. And I think OBJ, obviously Jarvis Landry and him are boys. I mean, they grew up together. Go be great on Facebook from OBJ was what he said to the team right before he went off. You can tell they had a big moment there. But Holly's saying there's no doubt you saw a different Baker. I think the biggest difference, though, was Hollywood Higgins. And I think Higgins needs to start playing regularly. And what I saw and what I didn't see for the last, basically year and a half where we didn't see Higgins on the field, Holly, is once Higgins got in a groove with Baker, I thought Baker took a breath and looked much more refreshed. And to your point, he looked to be in a rhythm. And oh my gosh, and what am I saying? Clearly was in a rhythm in this game. Right. I thought Hollywood Higgins was the difference. I think Hollywood, there are some times in sports where in life, where you just say, I can't explain this. He's not the fastest guy. He's not whatever, but this fucking guy gels with this guy. And there is no question Hollywood and Baker mesh. No question. And from here on out, I don't want nothing against Cordell Hodge. I'm glad he's back. Glad he's healthy. Cordell Hodge can't be playing. It's got to be Hollywood Higgins. It's got to be Peoples-Jones. And it's got to be Landry. And even when OBJ comes back next year, I want it to be Landry, OBJ, Higgins. Higgins has to be a part of this core. And Higgins needs to be signed up long-term. Higgins and Mayfield's work. And I don't understand why this has been such a round peg in a square hole. Just let it happen. And in 18, we saw it in front of our eyes. And I just don't understand. To me, there is something there with this OBJ. It's very weird. OBJ's love within the locker room. And I do. And he won the Cowboy. He won the Cowboy game with his legs. He's a wonderful, wonderful player. But at the same time, we saw Baker play much better in the second half. I do think there's a touch of that OBJ. I think it more to do with Hollywood Higgins. I think once Hollywood and Mayfield start clicking, you start seeing different things on the field. I just do. And I think
Baker's clearly way more comfortable, that's what I'm saying. There's just depending on, and that's kudos to Stefanski and the coaching staff for looking at this, finding this, and putting him in and seeing this chemistry, because you cannot make chemistry. It has to naturally happen. And it is with those two. And who's thought? Yeah, Higgins, he's a 5th round draft pick out of Colorado State. What? Like, that's nuts. He hasn't had a 100-yard game this season. This was a big win for him. And I love, there was a quote that he had with when there were I think it was right after the game, he said, just stay ready so you don't have to, so you'll always be ready. And I think that's true. He was ready for his moment.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
And he went out there and he proved it. And so did Donovan Peoples-Jones. So
oh my gosh, kudos to that rookie. That rookie who has done nothing but catch, punts and kickoffs. For that kid to come off the bench and play a lot. He played a lot of big minutes in that drive. And he was special. I think Peoples-Jones is going to be a star. I just do. I really do. I think those core three, Landry, Peoples-Jones, and Hollywood Higgins, I know there's been some banter. I would not make a trade. Those 3 wide receivers can win you games. And you're getting Cordell Hodge back. I think he's going to be a fit off the bench. You can't have any of those guys play. You got to have those 3 on the field. And remember, we're doing all this without Nick Chubb. He's coming back.
So did you hear Stefanski? I think it was today that he said that there's a chance that he might be back before the bye, which would be huge.
Huge. I mean, Nick That's the thing about this that I don't think has been talked about enough. The game was great. All that. And by the way, okay, before we get to Chubb, let's put that aside for a second. I want to go back to Baker. There's been way too much shit about people saying this was against a bad team. Let me tell you guys something. We have been in this town, and how many fucking times? Let's pick a game from the plethora of moments since '99 where we see the Joe Burrow team and Browns don't shit the bed, miss a field goal, do something weird, and lose the game. Baker won this game.
He did.
In the first play in that drive, a clear Bengal had a chance to sack him. He stepped aside, shook him off, and threw the ball right over across the middle for a big play.
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield won this game.
Yeah,
don't discredit that.
He needed to. This was really important. He hasn't since 2018.
That's right.
It was time.
And he is the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and he should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He should be.
Agreed.
For all the shit dumped, he deserves all the praise in the world.
Right.
That kid is gut. Okay. Love him or hate him, whatever else, that showed guts. He could have checked the fuck out. He could have easily said, you know what? I'm done. I don't have this anymore. For that kid to play with a hurt rib and do what he had to do, just wonderful.
Right. Leadership. That's exactly what you need. The quarterback is everything. And they look to him for so many things, especially leadership. And he proved it. And it was such a fun thing to watch. And the Browns, I think it's interesting. They kind of have this like 1-0 mentality every week. They want to go 1-0 every week. And I think that fits the narrative of this whole season perfectly, because every single week has been something completely brand new. Our conversation changes every single week to something completely
It really does. It's a great point.
Huge. Last week we were talking about is Baker the guy. Now it's, he's better without, he might be better without OBJ. Like it just, that wasn't the conversation. Granted, these have maybe popped up here and there, but it really is a brand new season, a brand new episode every single week with this team.
From the outside, as we are inside the tunnel, we're both huge fans. For people who don't think, the Browns carry that Yankee Duke Notre Dame bravado. They really do. I agree with you. It's well said. I want to hammer it. You're right. Holly's right. It's a chapter. You don't know what's going to happen in the next chapter. And everything is always amped because we're amped and we're ready for this. I believe a friend of the show, Jim Wetzel, Kareem is the man on this team. Holly, get some earbuds, please. I guess he likes mine, doesn't like yours. Thank you, Jim.
That's my brother.
But anyway,
we gotta make sure.
But talking to his Kareem note, and Kareem is the man. Nick Chubb on this team.
Sorry, interrupt. Jim, you can buy me some earbuds. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
By the way, Jim, you can buy me earbuds. You can sponsor the whole. We have a big announcement coming. Anybody can buy anybody earbuds. Anybody. If earbuds would like to sponsor anything, we're happy to take it on. We're happy to take anything on. We'll sponsor anything on this show. Jim with a thumbs up. Thanks, Jim. You're the man. Jim on Facebook. If people don't see these comments, click on Facebook. You can check the whole thing out. Soon on Instagram. More coming soon on that. Back to this, though. The big thing that he mentions with Kareem Hunt, and Kareem is the man. But think about this, Holly. With all this stuff grooving and all these moving parts, we're going to get to Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. Don't think we won't. We will. But I want to pause for a second. This team, to me, especially both sides of the ball, have not played their best football yet. And they're 5-2. I think this team's going to get better.
Well, that's why everyone's been so mad. The potential is there. We see it. The talent's been there. We have been able to just fit those pieces together. So yes, now we're actually seeing some of that come to fruition. And so, yeah, of course, that goes back to last week. We can actually connect something from last week to this week. That's why we get angry about it. That's why we get frustrated about it, because when you have the talent and to back everything up that we want them to accomplish, and we know that they can accomplish, you're frustrated, and 4-2 isn't good enough like it was last week. It isn't. So now we're going in the right direction. This is going to be another big week with the Raiders.
Yes, it is.
And, so it'll be interesting to see what Baker does. And I think he's going to just knock it out of the park again. I do. I think we're on a different track now. He's got his confidence back and everything. So
wait until UC set the edge in November, December. I think going in that Ravens game, the Titans games, the Titans is going to be a hard game. I think this team's going to be humming by that game. I really, really do. Again, this team has not been healthy. There's still injuries happening, sadly. I mean, OBJ, we just talked about it. This team's battled a lot. That's why I get that's why I get really excited. I think there's improvement to be made, and this team has gutted it out. If we're all being fair in the Hoyer year, it was all hold your breath. And how the fuck did we get here? I mean, how did this happen on this team? It feels like I know how we got here. I think we can get better, and I think the best is yet to come. And that's why the excitement's building. And I just think the best. I agree with you. I think Baker found something. At least I'm hopeful, but I do think he found something. Right. I really think he found something
like this that's what keeps us holding on, right? It keeps us it's like when you're in a relationship and someone does something really good and then they do like 80 different shitty things to you and you're like, well, they did that one nice thing. And it's because that's what you do. You hold on to that one thing. And he's had a lot of shitty games. Man, he had this great fucking game. So now we're back on it. We're back on like we're gonna be we're not breaking up. We're good. We're all good.
Yes, we're not breaking up with Baker yet. And I think Baker, too, to be fair and not more realistic, again, those games in late December with the Ravens and with the Steelers are going to weigh a lot into this. And this is great. This Bengals wins, don't get me wrong, wonderful win. Had to have it. Those games are going to weigh a lot into what we thought, too. Myles Garrett's the man. I want to throw 2 things in on defense. Myles Garrett's the man, and we've talked about this way too many times. Again, he is in 5 games, in all 5 games the Browns have won, he has made an impactful strip sack. Who the fuck does that? Ever.
He has more sacks this year than 7 teams have altogether. He has more sacks this year than 7 teams have altogether.
He's just unbelievable. If they could ever get a pulse of someone else. Now, this goes to Jim Wetzel, friend of the show. Never met you, Jim, but I'm just guessing from last name. Thoughts on moves before the trade deadline? That you said that's your brother, right? So Jimmy, nice to meet you. I'm clearly paying attention to what we're doing here. But Jimmy says thoughts before deadline. Here's the one thing I was going to bring up, but Dunlap got traded from the Bengals to Seattle. I really, really think the Browns need a complimentary defensive end to help out Myles. They need another guy to sack the quarterback. That is the one. Secondary would be great. Don't get me wrong. I think you can find guys. You can always find guys. But Jim, I would love for them to find someone who can sack the quarterback alongside Garrett. Garrett's doing everything by his own. Olivier Vernon, you don't feel him. You don't talk about him. Claiborne's been out. I've been disappointed by Claiborne.
That's it.
That's it. Holly, I mentioned that to Jared.
Oh my God. Will that into the universe.
Jared.
I said that I have a wood desk, so.
I said that to Jared. I go, can you fucking imagine Myles Garrett gets hurt? Season goes off the rails fast.
It's not happening. So
no. We're gonna be fine. And then one more thing, Denzel Ward. For people out there who have been over the years, and we've heard so much of this, like, I don't think he's good, or I'm not impressed as much. Everyone's lost. Everyone's lost. That kid can play. Denzel Ward caused the interception. It's all over social media. His underneath move where he slides and makes the tackles unbelievable. The kid makes plays. He made the Pro Bowl his rookie year. Yes. He is a star. And by the way, for people who forget, he's from Cleveland. Oh,
I forgot about that.
The kid is homegrown.
I totally
homegrown.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Homegrown. I just don't understand. What's up?
How long have we had him?
And we drafted him in 2018 with Baker. It was when Baker. Yep.
Oh, that's right.
I know.
Okay.
It's so long ago.
So long ago.
And by the way, I don't know if this is even a question. Pick up that rookie contract, Browns. Pick it up now for Denzel Ward. Pick it up. Just pick it up. He is, no Ward, no Garrett, no defense. They are the defense right now. And everybody's bemoaning it. You can listen to any other podcast, radio station, hear the same thing. The defense has got to get better. Sendejo's terrible. There's other guys on that team. I mentioned some of the other names.
Real bad. Yes.
It's to the point now where you don't even just like look up like, who didn't? Oh, Sendejo. Yeah. You just kind of look up like,
you don't want to be that guy, and he's that guy.
That's well said. He is that guy for sure. All that to be said, it's great. Holly mentioned it. This is a big week. The Raiders lost to the Bucs. The Raiders, if we're being realistic, Steelers and Ravens are doing their thing. One of those teams is going to fall in the wild card. You got Colts. You got the Pats keep losing. And then you got the Raiders and the Browns. And, only 3 of those teams are going to make it in. The Browns are in very good prime position. The Dolphins 2 or 3-3, so I guess you can throw them in there too. But Holly, the Raiders are good. The Raiders beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. This is a good team. This is not and Gruden's a Ohio kid from Dayton. And not that you don't need to prep him up. He won the fucking Super Bowl for the Bucs. We all know who this guy is. My point is, he will have this team ready to go. Yes. This is not a throwaway. You would love for this game to be the Jets. You would love for this game to have something where it's like after the bye week, we'll get Nick Chubb and everything will be okay. But yeah, the Raiders is
another new story. It's another new chapter. This could go either way. We could have a Ravens week. We could have. Yes.
Do you like the adventureness of the? Yeah. Do you like?
So I'm like trying to process it in my head. It really could go any which way.
Do you like the adventureness of the Browns? I find it exhausting, but I love it.
Andy, and I really do. And this team gives me so much anxiety because you don't know what team's going to show up every Sunday, and that's when I said a couple weeks ago, I just want a consistently good football team. That's legitimate. I do. We were consistently bad for a long time, so now I want a consistently good team, and we're not there. I'm not confident every week. No, we're not there yet. But and so no, I have no idea what's going to happen every week. They definitely give me anxiety every week, of course. And I know I'm not the only one. I know everyone's always like, but you want to be hopeful about it.
Yes.
Especially when they play well the week before. So we don't know what team will show up on Sunday.
Never.
That's always a big question. And now the ties have shifted even more with OBJ out, and hopefully in the right direction.
Yes, and again, I think what Holly hit on. By the way, real quickly. I am so glad the Browns don't play the Bengals anymore. Joe Burrow's really good. I don't need to see him.
People were saying that the announcers were like really kissing his ass, and I'm like, he's gonna be fantastic.
Oh, he's gonna be great.
I didn't think they were going any overboard than they have for anyone else, and he deserved it. I mean, there's been so many close games. This could have been a whole different situation. The record could be very different. So he's fantastic. Of course. Good. I mean, he's just gonna be. He's going to be a bulldog.
He is fantastic. He's likable. He's from Southern Ohio. Right. It's everything you don't want for the Bengals because they play him so many times, and they are a rival. I don't like the Bengals. I know some people are like, whatever. I don't like the Bengals. I grew up with Osiris and Kosar. I don't like the Bengals. The Bengals would Joe Burrow would be good. So I'm going to leave it at that. That train's a coming. So all that to be said, the Vegas Raiders are this week. We'll have to see what happens. I'm with Holly. I've watched the Raiders actually for whatever reason a lot this year. Goofy team. They have tons of athletes. They have a great coach. Quarterback is strange. I'm not a big Carr guy, but I saw Carr. I mean, this is the Raiders. Couldn't make a pass to save his life against Tampa Bay. 2 weeks before in Kansas City, kid was fucking throwing the ball across the field. Just across the field.
Gruden.
It is. He's a wonderful coach. I know guys in the business. Everybody sings his praises. He is a good man. Mm-hmm. So it's a good tester. Again, and the Browns, I think the best is yet to come. I really do. And the last thought on this, to Holly saying on the Chapter Express, people need to beware when you're playing teams like the Raiders. You're going to have the Raiders score. I think too many times people are like, I will say in fairness to the defense, there's no defense being played in college or pro football at times. So people should not be like, we can't stop anybody. Everybody's saying that. You hear the same complaint. Unless you're the Steelers, the Bears, or the Rams. There's a few other teams that play defense. The Colts kind of play defense. The Browns are not unique. There's a lot of bad defense. Yeah. So when Joe Burrow drives down the field, it's going to happen. And that's why, again, too, last thought, and you can give me anything else you want on the Browns. Don't shit on the Baker Express this week. He has earned that. He has deserved it, and he deserves all the praise in the world.
Yeah, and all the criticism stops when you're playing well. Even good old Colin Howard had to give him some kind of weird backdoor compliment, I think, of what he was doing, and Nick Wright kind of called him out, which was great. But I mean, he had to admit that, he was fantastic, and he talked down. Oh well, it was just the Bengals and blah blah blah. But division rival, yes. And it was a great win. And they came back and they didn't give up. And Baker was the leader that we needed him to be, that we're paying him for, that we want to see. So it'll God, I hope it's a good Baker situation this week. Many faces of Baker.
Dancing if needed. We'll go back to Saved by the Bell, but first I always ask Holly, it's time for midway through the show. What is your drink of choice tonight? I see tonight is some sort of frothy beer. So what do we got tonight? What do we got?
So, it's like holiday season, and I celebrate earlier than most people on this planet for many reasons. But like my Halloween decorations are up, I think, on August 31st. But I was like, I had to. I mean, it's changing of the season. So Halloween is what, Saturday? Guess what I'll be doing Sunday?
Decorating trees, lights.
Oh yeah. So I am drinking this good old Columbus Brewing Citra Noel. So my fellow Trader Joe's that I frequent quite a bit, they have, what I love about Trader Joe's, by the way, is that you can buy individual beers. So like you don't have to buy like 6 to make your own 6-pack. You can, but you can buy just like 1. You just want to try it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I got a couple different Christmas holiday ales, and this one is 7.3% alcohol.
Hence why Holly's feeling great.
So I put it in a nice little cup here. I need to get some Great Lakes Christmas ale because that's my favorite with the night.
Is it?
I don't know. And some people, I've had it before, and it me up was a Christmas ale, and you drop a shot of Fireball in it. Ooh,
my gosh! So I as always I drink Smart Water. I bring down the humor of the show, and yes, it helps my belly. I love antioxidant Smart Water. People who like that kind of stuff, it is great. I think you feel the difference when you drink it. This weekend though, I went out with and we had White Claws again. I am now in that. I don't know. I love Merlot. And then afterwards, I did like a bunch of White Claws. And this is my new. I love
that mix. No, it's you're mixing. See, we're too old now to be mixing, Andy. You got to keep it in your lane of drinks.
So to Holly's point, the next morning, see, Jim Wetzel knows it on Facebook helps my belly too. See, Jimmy knows. I already like Jim. See, Jimmy knows antioxidants, man. Telling you. I don't give a fuck what.
You probably take Metamucil too. He takes Metamucil. That's a thing too.
I don't take Metamucil, but I eat a bunch of. I only eat one bad meal a week, and I'll tell you what. On Friday night, it was mine. So afterwards, watch the World Series. By the way, Game 4 is insane. We won't do that tonight in the show. Game for World Series. So we're going to talk about Justin Turner. That was interesting. But back to this stuff. And so afterwards. I went through like my purging stages. I started feeling a White Claws. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have some fucking ice cream. You know what? I'm gonna have some fucking Doritos. You know what? I'm gonna have another fucking White Claw. You know what? I'm gonna start playing poker online. You know what? I'm gonna stay up till 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm just gonna get. I started texting people, drunk text, and then the next morning happened, and I married Pepto-Bismol for the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was
got way too confident the night before.
It was a mesh shorts Saturday. Mesh shorts.
I had my girls' night on Friday.
How'd that go? How was the big night?
Fun. I love my friends. I have the greatest friends, and we always have a lot of fun. And they came up, and we went to dinner, and went to Molto Bene in Lakewood, Ohio, by the way. Great Italian. And then we went to
I think I've been there, actually. That is really good Italian. I've been there. That is really good.
Yeah. And then we went to Dave & Buster's.
Oh, ladies, look at that eyebrow raise.
Let me tell you. We were there for 30 minutes and they shut the machines off exactly at 11 o'clock. So we were booted out of there fast, but it was fun for the good 30 minutes that it lasted, minus the card didn't work for one of my friends and we had to get it reloaded. It was a whole thing. So I have all these credits for Dave & Buster's in my wallet. And we came back and we played Kings, the drinking game Kings.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God.
We had to Google it and read rules throughout the game. But I'm like, wow, this is super crazy flashbacks.
Kings is one of those games you play it sometimes, you're like, I'm sort of fucked up. And there's other nights, blow. Like it's a weird game. Like there's a magical game called Asshole. If you play Asshole, you're gonna get drunk. All right. And there's a couple other games in there like you're gonna get hammered. Kings, you can go through Kings and you'll be okay. And then there's other times and
yeah. Kings are like they have like it's like all the rules, you know, and like 9 is rhyme, and you know when you were the king, you make up a rule, and someone has to follow that every time before they, you know.
Yes, there is some
hard or whatever.
There is some strategy to Kings. There really is. There's some like there's a game called I played a drinking game in college called golf. We also played ice hockey. Hockey's great. Hockey's not a heavy drinking game. That's more light and make sure you keep drinking throughout the night. Kind of steady drinking, we used to call it. Okay. Hockey's great. Golf, Asshole, just forget it. And there's another game too. Bullshit. Bullshit's not forget it. After a while, you're just
bullshit. Good one. And Fuck the Dealer. That was always
yes. Fuck the Dealer and Asshole are similar. Very, very similar games. Yeah. I've not played Asshole. Anyways, so all the people out there, you can play those games. It was it's funny enough. I had to speak in front of the University of Toledo, Cleveland Alumni Association tomorrow night. Check it out on Facebook. I think it's on. Anyways, I'll have to send it out after the show. But anyways, they were asking me like, you can tell all the stories about college. I'm like, I don't know if I want to tell some. All my old stories.
I not want to tell all the stories.
Yeah, I'll talk about a couple. Like, you know, like and then at one point they were finally like, is there anything off topic? I'm like, I don't know, not really. They go, well, I mean, like I started thinking about it, I was like, well, I mean, just like can I just see the guest list? Like, let me just make sure. Like random people.
That's the point.
Just want to make sure. Let me make sure. But no, I'll be excited tomorrow night. But yeah, my new thing is White Claws. I hate saying it. I am that dude. I like them. I just can't get off them. I do like them.
You got to try the Press brand. Press is my favorite.
I know. You mentioned that.
And they have new flavors this fall. They have new fall flavors. So you need to get on them. There's like an apple cinnamon one, I think. And like, yeah, you need to go down that path.
I will. And then real quickly on Christmas. And we'll do this more. Set the Edge is going to be on forever. But let's do it quickly on Christmas. I don't want to go into too much because this is good. I am not a Scrooge. I'm not a big Christmas guy. And I know.
Sorry, you're Scrooge.
I know.
You are.
I have ruined relationships in the last 4 years because I told women, I'm like, I like Christmas, but you know, that's not right. And like,
someone that hated Christmas, and it was terrible. It was terrible. So now it's all about it's Christmas as fuck in my apartment. Right? It's exploding in it, throwing up Christmas everywhere you turn and learn. So, but yeah, no, I'm all about it. So Sunday will be probably, Sunday will be really pushing it, but I'm pretty sure I put it up pretty much the first weekend of November every year.
Good.
Because then you got to enjoy it. It's only here for a short time. And
what else are you going to do during a pandemic?
Well, yeah, we'll probably be locked back in at home anyways, because that's what's happening. So that'll be, you might as well make it as cheery as you possibly can. So
that's right. I will say for people who feel like me, and I'll get into those stories later, that will be one of the episodes I will drink with Holly. There is a reason why. There's a reason why. And I love Chris. I do like the idea of Christmas. Anyways, I'll pause there. But there's some things that I went through as a child and went through as an adult where I'm like, oh, where's the alcohol? And just want to slump away. But when you have kids and when you have family, it changes. And I will say that. Mm-hmm. I love the family about it. I'm a big Thanksgiving guy. I love Thanksgiving.
No, I love Thanksgiving too. I don't skip over Thanksgiving. It's just not as fun to decorate.
No, that's true.
It's the only reason.
I love hollies. I love hollies that are spirit about Christmas. This is gonna be fun down the road. I now have a topic for good. Then we still need to do your love poem to Ryan Garko, which I've not forgotten, and will be coming. Off football season topics, Ryan Garko love poem is on my list. Don't you worry. Everybody out there, we've teed it up, and I will get up to EJ Scalata's comment. Kelly! Everybody loved Kelly. To wrap it up, I am surprised, outside of my love I mentioned for Jessie, which I was in love with her as a kid. I am excited. I'm surprised. I'm excited to see Saved by the Bell. I did not think I would be.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, because a lot of those reboots are pretty terrible. I did not watch the Full House one. I don't know. I heard that was pretty good, but I did not watch that one. I just felt that it was a little strange. This just seems like it's going to fit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know we touched on it earlier. I just think they all look pretty old. It's really, really weird to see them like that.
It is.
Even Kelly, Tiffany Amber Thiessen. I'm going to say something that's probably not very nice.
I'm ready.
So I apologize in advance. I just don't think that she's aged well.
I agree.
She was insanely beautiful when she was
gorgeous.
And then she got into the 90210, or what was she on? 90210 or Melrose? 90210, right?
I didn't watch either, but she was in one of them. I think she was 90210.
I was like, and she was like still in her like heyday prime, and now, and I'm like, I still just don't. I don't know. I just don't think she's aged all that great, and that doesn't mean anything outside of just that. So
yes, I hope she's not listening. If she is, please join Tiffany. We'd love to have you on. We'll have you on anytime.
My comment.
Come on in. I've gone through shit, girl. Don't you worry. We've all had our days when our boxes were on.
I think you want Jessie. I think she's aged fantastic, and I don't think she was anything fantastic back in her high school days. But I don't know, was the Showgirls or what? But I think she looks really good in the reboot. I also don't think Zach Morris looks that great. I'll be honest. And he was. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. More than their looks. However, that's just my first observation.
Well, I mean, look. Tiffany Amber Thiessen's not aged well. Period. Sorry.
She hasn't.
She just hasn't. Jessie, ooh, man.
Who knew you were a
big
Jessie
fan?
Interesting.
Oh my God, she is gorgeous. Oh, anyways, maybe I'll do my love poem for her. You do your love poem for me. That'd be a good Valentine's Day show. Actually, there you go. Valentine's Day. We'll get into that more.
Good idea.
I have been fascinated. I'm not surprised, but the Borat Express is in full go. I didn't want to get into this because some films cut through the cloth. It's very rare, but there always are films. It happens. Every generation, there's a cut the cloth film. The Seth film, I forget his last name, Rogen, when he did the film about North Korea, that cut through the cloth. It became bigger than just a film. It became a bigger story. Borat has cut through the cloth. It is not just a film. It is a sub-film. There is obviously the whole presidential thing. There's a Rudy Giuliani thing. There's this whole thing with a babysitter, which I was reading about today. There's a whole thing, too, with another woman who feels like she's been fooled by Borat, which is not surprising. But my thing, Holly, is there's a whole bunch of things here. And then there's the business side. I want to go down that road. Then you can go down the other road you want to in Borat. I give kudos to Amazon. What a smart buy. What a smart move. It's a home run hitter. It's something that I don't care if there's only 1 million views next week. Borat will run for the next 10 years and it will keep going. And it's a train. And it's very smart. I give Amazon so many kudos. Smart move. I've not seen it yet, but I will be watching. But smart move.
It's getting really good reviews. I haven't either. I probably will try and watch it at some point this weekend, maybe Friday night. But it is. I loved the first one.
I did too. I did too.
It's amazing the things that he exposes. It's just fantastic. So
yeah, he comes from that. For people who forget, Tom Green world, and Tom was really the first one I can remember. Jackass, in that world of like where. Tom Green is wonderful. I liked.
God.
Oh my God, wonderful show. People who have not seen this or are too young, YouTube it. Tom Green show is wonderful. Just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful show. But yeah, I think Borat's a smart move. Business wise, it makes way too much sense. But the one thing I give Borat again, and I'm not surprised, like you're expecting the babysitter videos and all these small videos. For him to cut through the cloth on a national level like the way he has, I mean, just kudos to the man. Just kudos. He is pissed off the president, which is not hard to do, but he is pissed off the president.
It's not actually, but it's. No. I know what you're saying. It is a big deal, but yeah, these days it's definitely not hard to piss him off. So
no, and the Rudy Giuliani. Did you see the Rudy Giuliani video with him? Have you seen that yet?
No, I know you were just talking about it. Not though.
So I'm going to give it to you, and everybody should check it out, including Holly, after the show. It's only like 2 minutes long. Rudy does an interview with the woman. He introduces a new character to the show, a girl, and will not give too much away. This one clip, she interviews Rudy Giuliani, the president lawyer, and afterwards, she goes, "Hey, don't come back to my bedroom," and like I'll take you off your microphone. And Rudy Giuliani, at one point towards the end, lays down on the bed and unzips his pants and puts his hand in his private area, in his dick. And then Borat walks in with some, I forget what I think his underwear. It was like weird. It was funny. It's total Borat. And my whole point is, I saw that. I go, here's a funny thing. He's going to try to shake this off. And how can you? It's so clear what he's doing. So clear what he's doing. So
how do people know? Again, we got to talk about this. How do people not realize that everywhere you turn, there is a camera. There is someone that is going to be recording you in some way, shape, or form. You cannot get away with anything anymore. When will people wake up and realize that someone somewhere is always watching? You will always get caught.
And Holly, he was doing an interview anyways. It isn't like he didn't know there'd be cameras there. I mean, like
just like what's his face from last week, the Zoom guy. Like,
I mean,
Jeffrey
Tobin.
Jeff Tobin. That's right, Jeffrey Tobin.
God.
How do you not? Again,
who's worse? Who's worse?
I don't know.
Tobin's bad.
You men.
I mean, look, we've all. Tobin's bad. That's bad. A Zoom call, you start jerking off. What the fuck are you thinking? You weren't.
Right.
God. And
really,
Julie,
get away with it. A lot of people think they're untouchable, and they're not. And
silly.
That's the truth. A lot of people think they can just get away with it and no one's going to care, or that because of who they are, they're going to get away with certain things. And that's just not the world we live in anymore at all. Because the more stature you have anymore, the more people want to take you down. So
that's right. And it's all tantalizing video. When your mic is on, you don't think it's on. When you think the cameras are off and it's on. I mean, it's all that kind of stuff. I learned that the hard way, not through my mistakes, but through other people's mistakes at ESPN and Disney. When the mics are on, the cameras are around, always be.
You should always act like the mic's on. I learned that beginning of my first interning in radio. You act like the mic is on all the time in that studio.
All the time. You never know. You never know. People make mistakes, and then the mistake becomes a bigger mistake. And we can relive thousands of examples throughout the years. Thousands. But anyways, all that to be said, that is that. I wanted to hit back one more thing, though, before we get down the road of wrapping it up. What is this with the Kardashians you want to bring up? Because I was reading the article and Tristan Thompson, but I want you to parlay. It is Halloween week, by the way.
Yeah, well, I just thought this interesting because Kim Kardashian. I don't watch the Kardashians anymore. I did years ago.
Okay.
I don't really follow them. I would follow Khloe when she was with Tristan in Cleveland and stuff. And I actually saw her and her whole crew. I watched them film an episode at Town Hall in Cleveland, this bar. I was there on a Monday night with a friend randomly. It was late in the spring, and they rolled up and we were about to leave, and then we're like, well, now we're not leaving. Now we're going to watch. And the guy handling the lighting sat at our table. He's like, can I sit here? We're like, yeah, because we were like in the circle. And I'm really mad because I did watch the episode and I am right there. You can see me, and they blurred out my face. They didn't have to blur out my face. All they had to do was ask me. I would have fully let them show my face on camera. Here I am. No,
I am ready.
I was so pissed. But anyways, it just, I'm enamored with them in the sense of just the life that they live and how out of touch with reality I think a lot of them are. A lot of things, Kim Kardashian's done a lot. I know she's trying to be a lawyer. She's done a lot for prison reform.
Is she really trying to be a lawyer?
Yeah, she's in school to try to be a lawyer. So I think,
oh my God,
look, using all of your fame and everything for good is great. But she got a lot of shit over this just last night because she took this insanely huge private jet, and not just like a small one, like 5, 6, 7 seater or whatever one would be. I mean, this thing's huge. I mean, there was like tables and couches and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's Kardashians.
To wherever she flew everybody to. She had everybody quarantined for a couple weeks. She paid for everyone to go on this trip for her 40th birthday. Then she posted all these videos about it. So it was all over social media and how insensitive it is, And I was but in the background, I saw Khloe with Tristan. And I just, he's still lurking around with her. He's cheated on her twice. One was with her sister's best friends. And it's just.
Oh, I know. I forgot about that. God.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really like her. I don't know what she's thinking. But, that's fine. That's the father of her daughter and the whole thing. But I just made me think about Tristan a little bit and just how that whole world. But I just thought it was interesting that she just got so much shit about posting all this stuff in such a sensitive time and being insensitive. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Well, then I go on Instagram. I looked at her Instagram tonight. Mm-hmm. And it's just like these insane flower arrangements, just these insane huge flower arrangements, because that's what they do. Spelled out with a big 4-0. You know, she gets gifts upon gifts from all these people, and it's just constant flaunt, is my point. Just constant flaunt of all of these things. And nobody watching that gives a shit in that sense, because they can't live that life. You know, I just watch it and I'm like, how can you just think that that's what people want to see, you know? So it's just frustrating. Anyway, I saw Tristan in the background. It made me think of what the hell the Cavs are going to do. Also, why Chloe's still with them, but you know,
she loves them. She loves them. It is the modern day
about the Kardashians. That's all. It has really nothing to do. I try to tie it back to the Cavs. I really try, outside of Tristan, but that's it.
No, it's a Cavs topic. He plays for Cleveland still. Look, they are the modern day Hillary and Bill Clinton, where it's like, I don't know how, but there's Hillary right there. There she is. And I'll be honest with you, it's the same here. And you know what? To each its own. There's all these. I can bring up many. Cookie and Magic Johnson. There's many examples throughout the years, and this is just another. And by the way, it's their life. They can do whatever they want to do. But it is amazing. It's almost like a bet in Vegas. It's almost like a bet in Vegas. Like, will Tristan and Chloe be together in 2025? I would always bet yes.
Yeah,
I would always bet
probably
yes.
Look, as long as he's playing well. Don't matter to me.
He's a wonderful. I love Tristan Thompson, the player and the person. I do. I love them both. I get it. Maybe I'm in love with Tristan.
Room, you know, he's definitely a leader. He's one of the few remnants of the 16 championship team. You know, Kevin Love wants him to stay. You know, I like Kevin Love. I love what he's done. That's another topic for another day.
It's a whole topic. Yeah.
Prime, but no, I think Tristan's great for the Cavs. You know, it'll be interesting to see what they do, and that'll really tell the direction that they're going to go. If they're going to go, rebuild young guys or keep some of these vets and pay out the ass for them. So
I love Tristan Thompson. I love his spirit. I love his energy. I think he's a funny guy. I really, he's a big game player. He's not a scorer, but God, he does everything else so well, and he can score too if he has to. And to your point about Tristan, I do hope he comes back. I'm not total blow up teams guy, and that's another conversation too for another day. I do believe in keeping guys around. I do. You just don't throw away parts and pieces, is my point. And 16 is really, really important. We won't relive that, so we all know why. Tristan Thompson should stay as long as he wants to, and Cleveland should keep him as long as he wants. Same with Kevin Love. Yeah. However long they want, they should stay. You cannot get rid of guys like that. They can still play. They can still ball. They mean a lot to the city. And I've learned in sports through all these years of watching, people. Okay, here's my one example why. People in Florida State wanted to get rid of Bobby Bowden. Couldn't wait to get rid of him. Do you think Florida State fans want Bobby Bowden back? Hell yes, they do. Yes, they do. There was a point way before Sandusky, that people in the early 2000s wanted Joe Paterno to leave. Wanted him fired. And boy, towards the end of his career, they were crying mad. And my point is, when you have things like this, don't just throw them away. Don't. You never know when you're going to get things like that back.
Well, no, they just bring like I said, leadership vets. Yes. You know, they can really help the young guys out and everything. So I think that's big. They're just expensive, but
they are expensive, but they're worth every dime and nickel. They are worth every.
He has no problem spending money, so I'm okay with it.
I know this is not the most, but I think there's two things I want to wrap up on before we head out of here. The election hype has been real. We've talked about that a lot on this show. In all my years, I'm 41. I have never seen an election take over a whole news media thing, from everything from like coffee shop chatter to water cooler to bar chatter to live chatter to obviously television chatter. It's all about the election this year. It is going to. I was pitching a documentary to do on the mental health of this country, of how people are going to react once the election's over, and I'm still looking into doing something like that. And the reason why, Holly, is what the articles I'm seeing for people who are very concerned one way or the other, no matter what blue or red your side you're on, for people and the reaction afterwards. And I have been amazed this week again, where people who are telling people don't go out on Tuesday night, stay home, stay safe, and all that. The anticipation and the fallout, whatever happens, whoever you're rooting for, whoever do you want to be in office, it is real this year. It's always been real. Like Bush and Gore was real. There were some other real competitions like that. That's the one that really comes back to me. That was intense in 2000. That was intense. This is by far 100 times more intense.
Oh yeah, and because regardless, we're still going to be completely divided, and I think that.
Oh yeah.
There's still so much more work to be done on that front, and yeah, there are
Yes.
people are very worried about Tuesday.
Yes.
I am probably going to go out in the morning. I think I'd rather go instead of the evening, but yeah, I'm nervous about it. I mean, that's a big day, and the fallout after that. I mean, there's our mail system screwed up right now. I mean, there's just a lot people's votes. I mean, it's not going to end on Tuesday. Put it that way.
No. I think you hit it well. I think this is going to be, again, for people who haven't seen, there's been a lot of predictions on riots. There's been a lot of predictions about violence. There's been a lot of stirring comments all year, obviously. I mean, all people know all year. It's interesting, and I'm sure on this show we'll be talking about it. Browns win or lose, it's bye week. I guarantee you on Set the Edge, we will have a lot of opinions. It will be a big topic. It just has to be. It's going to be interesting to see. And then the other one, too, real quickly, the stock market has taken a huge tumble. Lost 900 plus points today. That's a big deal. I think people, I am not an expert, but I love CNBC. I've done Robinhood. I have invested a lot of different things. I would tell you right now, I have dumped everything over the fall, and this is why. I think it's going to be a tumultuous stock market. I would tell people right now, I think everything will settle down. I think everything will be okay by far. There's way too much money to be made in life. All that to be said, it is wild. I mean, there's good reports. UPS today is a great example. Great report came out. Their stock tumbled out of control. There's these reports that come out that are just good, and it's like it goes backwards. It is something for people who don't normally watch that. I would keep your eye on it. I really would. And it could be good too. Not just saying awful. Yeah. I just think it is these next 6 days. We love the Browns, all about the Browns. We'll be into it by Monday night. It's all going to be about the election.
Yeah.
All about the election.
Different show for sure.
Yeah. Let me real quickly. How's it like in Connecticut? Connecticut's definitely going to be blue, and it's gripping stressful. Is it like that? In a state like Ohio, is it like that?
Ohio's always a swing state. Ohio's always been a swing state. In the major counties, they're all blue.
Yeah,
Cuyahoga County for sure.
Of course.
But yeah, I don't know. Again, it's a swing state. This is a different year. I will say, yeah, when I get down, if I'm driving further south and further west, I was actually out in Toledo last weekend.
Oh, right.
There's a Trump sign in every yard.
Sure.
Sure. And then when you get closer to Cleveland and everything in the major cities, yeah, there's definitely more Biden signs. So I don't know. It's going to be, that's why I say it's going to go past Tuesday, because you just want a fair election regardless. And I hope that that's the case. And I'm a little worried about that.
We'll talk about it. The only thing I can compare it to that obviously you and I were not around for, but when I watch Mad Men and I read into history books, Nixon, Kennedy type stuff. That's the closest thing that I can recall. Gore Bush was intense too. Really intense. But this just has for obvious reasons, different slides. Anyways, I don't want to do politics too much, but I'm not talking into the politics, but around it. It is it just circumferences you. And I will admit,
it's taking up everything. So.
Yeah, it really is. Outside the Browns Raiders stuff, I'll be admitting, I think the storylines are going to be everywhere. So everybody out there, please be careful. That'd be my final note and listen to all this stuff. Cleveland on Beyond, Set the Edge. There's going to be a whole bunch of other announcements coming very soon. We have a big new thing that's coming up what we're really excited about. We're going to be going through a whole new platform, a whole new thing. Please stay in touch with us. We'll be going through Facebook and through a new Instagram thing. Big announcements coming. We're very, very excited.
And we'll do a shot with me.
Oh, we will. Oh, there will be. Yes. That'll be one of the shows.
We'll shotgun a White Claw.
Oh, yes. There'll be spandex shorts.
Shotgun beers. I never even did that in college, but anyways, I could never do it.
Oh, I could do the funnel. I have a weird.
That's bonging it. I cannot shotgun it when you like.
Oh, I can.
You know what I mean? No, yes. I can't do that.
Here's the thing, and this is why I'm not. See, now that I've lost weight, I can't. I'm seeing a girl and she teases me. She goes, "You can't drink." I'm like, I used to be able to drink I can't do as much anymore. But here's the one thing, I take in a lot. So when I drink water, I drink a ton of water. So when I drink wine, I drink a ton of wine. There's no whatever. So like when I was in college, it's like oh, like, oh, you have like a case of, or like a 12 pack. You have a case? Can I have a beer, Billman? No, this is my. I'm bringing all these. like this is mine for the day.
They're all mine.
This is all mine. And oh, by the way, I'm drinking some of that keg beer too. But you can have that. But like, don't drink it all. Don't drink it all. So it's definitely Anyways, there's a lot of big exciting announcements. We're very excited. I think it's going to be cool stuff. Please, everybody, check it out, and we'll have big announcements in the coming days, weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Big announcements. It'll be cool stuff. Right after the bye week stuff, we're going to really launch a lot of cool stuff. All that to be said, for everything that we said the week before, is Holly Wetzel said it best. You just turn the chapter. Just turn the chapter. You just never know what you're going to do. This has been a special show. I feel like now Jim Wetzel and I are friends. I like that he's been texting and tweeting, Jimmy, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to give you a call soon because I get the feeling you and I are not that. I love his Musil Bay. Helps my belly too, brother. Oh, my God. Such a good guy. I already love him. Oh, my God. 2 piece in a pod's right. Last thing. Nothing to do with Cleveland. Oh, I know, Jimmy. He's got the hands emoji going. I know. Brother, I'm going to meet you, and we're going to shotgun a beer. As Holly laughs at us as we spilled all over her shirts. By the way, I played into my son plays, Pee-wee's the right word? Anyways, he's in the 8th grade. So they had, with mask on, we played like a little social distancing game with kid, and one of his friends, I actually caught the ball, did some things. Kid fucking tackled me. My hip still hurts.
You didn't hurt yourself worse.
And they were impressed because like I made a play in one play. My son is tall and fast, nothing I ever was. But there's one play where I almost caught one of the kids from behind and they're like, damn, Bill. I'm like, yeah, I can't feel my calf, but yeah. And like, so all those 13-minute mile jogs, paying off.
Look at you.
Paying off.
Look at you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Holly Wetzel's doing a 9. I got an whole, or probably 8. I'm doing a whole 13. Me and Granny hanging out.
You'll get there. Trust me.
Oh,
coming from me.
But I do 4 miles a day, and that's what's key.
That's right.
I did not do that today, but I do most days. So Set the Edge was a fun show. Oh, this was it. I forgot what I was going to talk about with you real quick. We had to talk about this. What do you think of this whole Dodger thing with Justin Turner coming in and coming back on the field with no mask on, knowing he tested positive for COVID? Do you know this story?
Yeah, I saw it. Mm-hmm.
I am, okay, just real quickly, stunned and floored Justin Turner did this. I don't think he should have done it. I'm sorry. If you have COVID, you can't come out.
Oh, 100%. I mean, all the people that he put at risk, if we're going to get down on everyone else for doing it, especially him too, you can't do that. You can't. And he should get fined. He should. I mean, he should. He should get suspended. It was a part of next season, in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what that looks like, or what this is a whole new like COVID suspension thing. That's a new thing, so yeah. I don't know what that looks like. But yeah, no, you can't do that.
Can't.
You know better.
As your brother says, horrible look. It is. It ruined I like this World Series a lot. I was surprised. Game 4, watch the play. It was a wonderful, wonderful World Series. I really enjoyed it. Really well played. It felt weird. That whole thing, and I just can't believe Justin Turner did that. Stupid. And I agree with Holly. Like baseball couldn't get in the right way. Then they had a wonderful World Series. And then it's so sad. It's going to be remembered more for Justin Turner. Real quickly, is baseball going to have a hard time getting relevant on a bigger stage again? I think they might. Well, and I love baseball. I'll
make this really quick. I did just see Michael Mulvihill from Fox. He was always tweeting about the different ratings and stuff. And he tweeted about the World Series ratings, and they were up 24%.
Wow.
Over Primetime, the number 1 primetime show this year.
Damn, that's great.
Was The Voice, which that's a big deal. They know that the World Series will constantly be, as long as the World Series are beating everything up, at least not up against the NFL, because NFL will always ran over.
NFL's a machine.
Continue to be relevant. And this season, and especially in the local markets, the Cleveland Indians, for instance, do so well here locally.
Yes.
And so on top of that, I think that, yes, it will. And this is not going to hurt. I mean, what he did is not going to hurt really the game, because he's not the only player that has put other people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
But this is just another thing, and COVID's getting worse, which is a whole other conversation. But no, he did actually. He tweeted that, and I saw that right before we started the show tonight, that they were up 24% over The Voice and number one.
Wow.
And they continue to be one of the top number one for 50 or I don't know how many years.
The World Series for a long time was the Super Bowl, and then in the 80s it just toppled. The Super Bowl became Super Bowl. So I'll tell you what, for next week, Vegas Browns is going into bye week. We'll talk about that. Definitely not who won or lost, but the post-election, where we are 24 hours later, and the stories we see. We'll definitely be talking about that. And baseball ratings, I can already tell you, is now I'm interested. I was wrong. I'm glad to hear that. I love baseball. I'm doing a documentary on baseball called Warren the Diamond. I love baseball, so I'm glad to hear that. It was a wonderful World Series. Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
It was.
Wonderful, wonderful World Series. Holly Wetzel there. I'm Andy Billman here. This is Set the Edge on Cleveland and Beyond. Thank you, everybody, for checking in tonight. Jimmy Wetzel and I are now best friends, BFFs. I pronounce my love for Jesse. And I got to drink press. And big announcements more to come. And now we all, and again, as Holly said, when you win and you do well, it's amazing how the Browns vortex turns. Mm-hmm. Until next week, be safe next week, everybody, for Super Tuesday. Take care, everybody.